I wanted to get both of your reactions, of course, to the big news from Friday when Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to end a 7-year rift, if you like. Loay, what will be the impact on the region?
Well, let me tell you something, Laura. First of all, the talks between Saudi Arabia and Iran are not new. It started in 2021, and Saudi Arabia informed, by the way, the U.S. that they are making steps toward normalizing relations with Iran. But now it came to different agreements here and there. So Saudi Arabia and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, always looks to the region as a stable region. So he wants to neutralize all the conflicts. So the conflict with Iran was one, the conflict with Qatar was one, and also, by the way, the conflict with Israel. I don't see the agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel and Iran will hinder the upcoming peace agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel. It's inevitable. Now it's a matter of time. Does that mean that the pace has been slowed? Maybe, but it's going towards this goal. This is the idea of Prince Mohammed. He wants to make a stable Middle East. So normalizing relations with Iran and making this agreement with the mediation of China is a good thing for the region. I know that some people might be skeptical about the outcome, but we will see. Now, you don't have ambassadors yet. So real diplomatic ties will be restored within the 2 months. So the upcoming 2 months, especially after Ramadan, will reveal many things, because I believe, Laura, the greatest impact is that there will be no escalation in the Holy Land in the between the militants in Gaza and Israel. I believe this is a good impact because there will be some sort of a pressure, because, you know, they are backed by Iran. So there will be a good pressure that there should be no escalation, and this would lead to good results. That
certainly would be a positive outcome, wouldn't it, Ruth? Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't seem to see it that way. He's been forced to deny reports that his far-right coalition partners are already getting him into some problems with the UAE.
First of all, I think that there is a very complex situation in Israel. I think that very far-reaching steps have been made by the current government. And yet, I must agree with my friend and colleague Loay regarding the importance and the impact of the Iranian-Saudi agreement. I see it as more of a tactical agreement rather than a strategic one, specifically because of the interests of both countries. Let's talk about Saudi interests more in the Houthi area in Yemen. Nonetheless, I do see it not as hindering the progress with the potential peace with Israel, even though many Israelis are extremely worried. What I do think should be looked at is, again, the weakness of the United States, the moving away from of the United States from the region, and the moving in of different mediators, different world powers like China. This is the main geostrategic and macro development that is the issue, in my humble opinion.
Well, talking about the Abraham Accords potentially going off track, I mean, there's a report in Axios today. The Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen blocked from attending the UN World Tourism Conference in Saudi Arabia. Loay, what are we to read into that?
I read to that Saudi Arabia does not have yet official ties with the state of Israel, so that would be something expected. I don't see it as big news. I don't know why people are surprised.
It's a UN conference.
Yes, I do understand, but still people think that Saudi Arabia fully normalized relations with Israel. Saudi's role in the Abraham Accords was very simple, opening up the airspace to the Israeli aircraft based on the international agreements. Now, whether blocking the Israeli entry to Saudi Arabia, even though some conferences had some Israelis entered, but I'm just saying that still Saudi Arabia is not yet having a peace agreement with Israel. So everything in between can be read with this context, Laura. Some people still believe that Saudi Arabia is part of the Abraham Accords, and this is not true.
Yeah, wishful thinking. All right, very quickly, Ruth.
In essence, I think the Saudi Arabian, the spirit and the green light was given to the Abraham Accords. There are a lot of maneuvering on the positive level between the lines. Unofficially, there are many Israelis over there. Eli Cohen is an official persona on a very high level, particularly with the tensions right now. I'm not sure that Saudi Arabia is interested in having to justify this within its own internal arena at this precise moment.
The timing isn't right.
The timing isn't right. The Middle East loves the sentence. Let's hope that very soon we'll make it ripe for better relations with Saudi Arabia.
Ruth Wasserman-Lande and Loay Al-Shareef, thank you very much indeed.